All right, Turki Al Sheikh has recently given an interview with ESPN, and he's talking about one fight that we know is happening and the rematch for that fight, and he's also talking about Joshua versus Fury. We'll talk about Usyk versus Fury first, because obviously we are having Usyk versus Fury on the 18th of May, so we're not a million miles away from it. It's getting there, lads. It's getting there, and we kind of, I think we're getting it. I do. I don't think there's going to be any more pullouts. But, I thought that in February. And we saw what happened. I was convinced in February we were getting it. But I'm calling it. We're going to get it this time. We are going to get it this time. And obviously we're undisputed. With that fight, whoever wins, there's a two-way rematch clause. And that's kind of where the issue is going to be with the IBF. Because obviously the IBF have mandatory with Filip Hrgovic, and they've put that on the back burner for a while now. So whoever wins this fight won't be undisputed for very long. They may only be undisputed champion for a couple of days. I mean, they may only be we may literally have an undisputed champion for all of a week, if even, and then we'll have a unified. They'll still have that title. They'll still be able to say they were undisputed champion briefly, but they'll be able to do it nonetheless. Now, the reason for that is because obviously there's a rematch clause, a two-way rematch clause in place for both guys. Now, Turki Al Sheikh is saying that he is planning the rematch for Fury Usyk. So, before I talk about that, I just want to interject. Turki Al Sheikh seems to be a kind of guy where he has all these ideas for boxing, and rather than maybe keeping some of the ideas kind of under lip, he lets some of them out, because 1 minute we're hearing this, and then it's 1 minute we're hearing this, and then it's this. There was a lot of talk that the winner would face Anthony Joshua next, in spite of the fact there's a rematch clause. Joshua is going to fight in Wembley Stadium against the winner of Hrgovic versus Wilder, or potentially the winner of Dubois versus, I hope I didn't say Hrgovic versus Wilder, Zhang versus Wilder, and Hrgovic versus Dubois. And then what he's saying, he wants to do Jared Anderson, I don't want to do that, Jared Anderson versus Deontay Wilder. So there's a lot of plans there for Turki Al Sheikh. He lets a lot of them out of the bag, but realistically, if you have a two-way rematch clause that both fighters can invoke, then that's gonna happen next. And he is saying that the rematch for Fury Usyk will be planned for October the 12th or October the 13th in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Now, I think October the 12th is a Saturday, which will be normal. Be normal. He is mentioning Fridays a bit more, so obviously the Ngannou Joshua fight was on a Friday, as it will potentially will be Joshua's next fight. That'll potentially be on a Friday as well. I believe, the Crawford card is on a Saturday, but potentially Joshua's next fight in Wembley will be either on a Friday or a Saturday. These two dates are a Saturday and a Sunday. So, a bit random. I don't see, with the Sunday fight nights, I don't mind them, and they have done reasonably big shows like Jake Paul, Tommy Fury. Count that as a big show if you want. They have done shows on a Sunday, but they primarily looked at the Saturday fight night, which is the kind of night you'd expect for a big show. Now, I've often said I don't mind seeing big shows, or any shows in particular, on a Sunday. It is a bit random, and normally when you see a Sunday show from a major promoter, it's normally a kind of, it could be a Saturday fight night, like Billum Smith versus Mastanek. It could be a Saturday fight night, or you could just be different and do it on a Sunday, either or. It's very seldom you see big events on a Sunday, very seldom. So they're the two dates in question for Tyson Fury versus Oleksandr Usyk, the rematch. I guess the question I have is, I suppose it's not really a question. It's not even actually, I was going to say probably poor choice of words. It's more so kind of, will the fan interest be there for the rematch? It really depends on what happens in the fight. Let's just say Tyson Fury goes in there and he does a demolition job on Oleksandr Usyk. He's lean, his feet are with him, his legs are with him the whole 12 rounds. He's able to keep Usyk off of him. He's able to box, able to move, he's able to win a unanimous decision, a legit decision, and a decision where Usyk he doesn't really have a prayer in it. He doesn't really have a shout in it. It's a real clear Tyson Fury win. Is the fan intrigue really going to be there? And vice versa. Let's say Oleksandr Usyk goes in there and Tyson Fury is shot to pieces. And you can see that. A bit like Spence Crawford. A bit like, because there is a few similarities to this fight in that sense, and going into it. If it's a bit like that, for me, I was looking so forward to Spence Crawford, and I seen it. I seen a fairly one-sided beating, and then any kind of anything I wanted, like seeing the rematch was just kind of I don't want to see it. There was no real desire to see it after that point, and I wonder will something like that happen. I'm not saying that this could be a very, very competitive fight. I seriously, seriously, seriously hope either way there's no controversy. Good God, I don't want that. I don't want Fury to win a controversial decision. I don't want Usyk to win a controversial decision. They have seemed, with the exception of that one scorecard in the Joshua Usyk rematch, they have seemed very fair over there. Very fair with their scoring. They haven't seemed to get up to any shenanigans. I just sincerely hope that they don't this time for either guy. But that would set up a rematch, and that would have intrigue, fan intrigue. I guess that's the big thing. Like, depending on how the fight goes, will there be fan intrigue in the rematch? That's the big question. Seriously, if Tyson Fury loses that fight, and say he loses it badly, there'd probably be more intrigue in him versus Ngannou 2 than there would be in him versus Usyk 2. Depending on the nature of it. I'm not saying, for everyone. There probably would be. If Fury went in there and looked terrible, and Usyk just, had an easy time, a rematch between those two, there probably would be genuinely more interest in an Ngannou rematch. I'm just thinking out loud, but there probably would be. Then a Usyk rematch. Could change, but who knows. So, yeah, rematch is proposed. I certainly hope that's the date of the rematch and we don't get it pushed back to one of those dates. I don't think we will. I don't think we will. I think we're locked in, we're set, we're good to go for those dates. May the 18th, never mind those dates. We're good to go for May the 18th, and yeah, we'll see how this fight goes. I'll leave it there, people. Hope you enjoyed the video. Smash the like button if you could. Hit subscribe, of course, as always, if you haven't already. For now, I'll leave it there. Peace.